Spanish. Bruh. Hey, what's up, my boy? We haven't met each other since what? October?
Hey, yeah, since Katana Zero maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Ah, got an idea. Let's make video about Stalker.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's right. The release of the sequel is in what? April? Yes?
But man, Stalker is everywhere, literally.
Look, do you want more audience? And remember, I'm your producer from Kremlin. I give all money you have. Okay, good luck then. Try to exploit слабу jokes. For instance, сука, блядь. Understood, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, bye then.
Fine. I'll do it, promise. I need to create something after all.
Shabbat Shalom, our dear subscribers. Here is always your Jew friend Stoltz. Remember last time we guessed a game with Poland and Berserk references? Well, riddle me this. Well, in this game, Poland and Berserk references are everywhere. No, we neither. This time we're about to cover and hopefully finish a game that is a gem of the post-Soviet game industry. It's not like there was a Soviet one though. Ladies, highly unlikely. And gentlemen, we present you Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl.
Поехали, товарищи.
So, if you saw the Stalker 2 E3 trailer, looked up OG Stalkers and decided that you don't really feel like playing this old jank, you've come to the right place. We're going to spoil the hell out of the Stalker, but before we proceed to retelling this game, a word on the history of its development.
Welcome back to Calco Cringe!
Funny fact, this game was almost like Cyberpunk 2077 these days, except Stalker was eventually a success and didn't fucking burn the developer's reputation. I mean, the project was ambitious as hell, and devs made tons of promises of cool features like cars, open world with an advanced as hell life simulation, and much more. There were numerous release date delays. It took 7 fucking years to make.
That's quite big.
And it would have taken even more if THQ, their publisher, hadn't gotten suspicious and sent their guy to the dev's office in Ukraine to see how it was coming along, only to find out that the project was a fucking mess and definitely not ready for shipping.
What the fuck is that?
So the guy made a decision to start cutting shit that's not finished just to release it in time. which devs really hated, and also this has become a meme in the community, although they framed the lead developer, Sergey Grigorovich, for circumcising the game. And when it got out, it was a buggy mess that looked rather different from what was promised. Tons of promised features like cars and open world with an advanced hell-life simulation just weren't there. So after the release, devs had to spend lots of time patching the game. It may sound like the game was a complete failure, but it actually wasn't. Although there was, and still is, by the way, plenty of guys that were pissed off by the game that the game didn't meet their overgrown expectations and claimed that it wasn't a true Stalker, like true Stalker. The majority actually loved the game.
Nice.
So much that mods are still being made for it, keeping the community alive even 10 damn years after the Stalker 2 was cancelled. Wait, stop, don't die of a heart attack yet. Stalker 2 was originally supposed to come out in 2012, but got scrapped in 2011. And then the lead developer pulled together a new team and announced it again in 2018. So, as you may know, on the 26th of April 1986, there was a disaster at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. One of the reactors blew the fuck up and turned the area into a real-life Fallout radioactive wasteland, but without Nuka-Cola and scrap collecting. Well, no, actually, there was scrap collecting, looters took abandoned vehicles, part to sell for scrap. I mean, they didn't even give a fuck that they were abandoned because they were goddamn radioactive. The game takes place in an alternative universe, where this accident wasn't the end of it. So April 12th, 2006, something blew the fuck up again at the very same power plant. No one knew what it was, but the explosion was so harsh it created the Chernobyl anomaly zone, turning it into a Russian Fallout but with anomalies, vodka and colza. Suddenly, weird stuff started appearing there. Animals turned into some twisted, wretched mutants. And strange anomalies started appearing everywhere throughout the zone. Anomalies are weird phenomena, spaces where laws of physics either twist in some way or simply don't work.
Да ты чё?
Sometimes they produce some mineral look-like formations that also have anomalous properties like healing, etc. They were called artifacts, and they attracted the attention of many factions. Scientists wanted to research them to boost technological progress. Some were interested in those as collectors, and so on. And of course, many wanted to smuggle them illegally. They're usually deadly traps for anyone unprepared. So the zone eventually got filled with dudes that surged there illegally. They should have built a wall or something, I don't know, and stayed there for various reasons. Mostly for money, to hide from the law, and sometimes for personal circumstances in their homeland. And where there are random dudes who wish to make a huge pile of money, there are my greedy relatives from Israel. Sorry. Anyway, that's enough law for now.
It's time to stop!
Let's get into the game at last. At the beginning, we see this cool CGI 4K Ultra HD cutscene. So, we play as this mysterious guy that was found alive in a death truck. He has a weird stalker mark at his hand. Hence, people decided to call him Mechany, which can be translated as the Marked One. He doesn't remember anything, so the only thing he knows is that he's got a message on his PDA.
Так, за эту фигню я дам тебе...
Which is definitely not a Pip-Boy ripoff, and the message says, "Kill this Sherlock." What does Sherlock mean? Glad you asked. Since we decided to put a small educational aspect here so that you can at least learn something for a change, while you're wasting your time watching some YouTube shitposts. For example, some useless Russian words that you'll probably never use. Sherlock can be translated as shooter, gunslinger, or archer. We've got no idea who he is and where he is, but that's the only lead we've got, so we have to follow it. But first we gotta learn the basics. Never mind, we actually skipped the tutorial cause we are pro gamers. This body positive guy from the cutscene is a local merchant, Sidorich. We'll call him Cedar from now on. As a true capitalist and a descendant of the great Jewish lineage, he didn't save our ass for free and wants us to repay the debt, and tells us the iconic line.
Я тебя спас, и в благородство играть не буду. Выполнишь для меня пару заданий, и мы в расчете. Заодно посмотрим, как быстро у тебя башка после амнезии прояснится. А по твоей теме постарайся разузнать. Хрен его знает, на кой ляд тебе этот стрелок сдался. Но я в чужие дела не лезу. Хочешь убить, значит, есть за что.
His first errand is to get a USB drive from a guy called Shustry, which means nimble in Russian. The problem is that the guy is being held hostage by some bandits at an old car park, so we have to get him out. Though Sidorovich doesn't really care whether the guy is alive or not. What matters is the USB drive with some intel. This says a lot about society. So we get out and admire the view of a dilapidated Ukrainian village. The place is a shithole, literally shithole, but it's still kinda cozy. Stalkers are doing their business, resting after a dangerous journey, vibing by the campfire and telling some jokes and stories. Man, is it good to be back here? But we're here to speak to a guy called Volk, which means wolf in Russian. Wolf tells us that we can join their rescue operation and help fight Shustry back from Gopniks. On our way, we snatch some secrets in a rookie village. And find a wounded guy just outside of it. Tolik, our first and only friend. We give him a med kit so he doesn't die out there. And then a military helicopter flies by, eager to commit some war crimes. Anyway, we go and shoot the bandits. Find Shustry, who tells us that the Gopniks tried to find the USB drive, but he hid it really well. For fuck's sake, man, that's gross. He assures us that he didn't hide it in his asshole, but we don't believe those petty excuses. Anyway, we have to risk our health here. It's probably more dangerous than the radiation. And take this AIDS-infested USB drive from him to take it to Cedar. While we're at it, we also run a little errand for our boy, the anal smuggler, and get back to Cedar. All in all, we killed about 10 people, lost one of our guys as well as Shustry's anal virginity, and risked our own life just as many times. And Cedar gives us, pay attention to this. Now that's a true merchant. Cedar then tells us that he's got a special assignment for us. He did some research about our S.T.A.L.K.E.R guy. Finding him might be also useful for the merchants, because rumor has it that S.T.A.L.K.E.R has found a way to the north of the zone, and that is in an explored land. No one has been there yet, because for some reason, people's brains just boil when they try to get there, which means there could be a ton of unknown artifacts that could be sold to smugglers, collectioners, and scientists for a shitload of money. What? Did you really think he was interested in discoveries or some shit? We are Jews. He is my relative. He is almost my brother. Oy vey. So he sends us to meet his other guy, Lis, which means fox in Russian. He's got some info on S.T.A.L.K.E.R, but the problem is that he's past the bridge. And just as always, if there is a bridge, there are trolls under it. Except this time trolls are corrupt Ukrainian soldiers that try to extort a toll from you. You have three ways to deal with this. You can either pay them a toll, or try to get past the bridge through a hidden tunnel that is full of anomalies. Or you can commit a small genocide of Ukrainian armed force squad members, which we definitely don't approve of, because that's a criminal act, you know. And also, Israel is a legitimate state. In my past sentence, there was only one mistake, and we're here illegally anyway, so we actually massacred them. Besides, who would even pay for a fucking pass onto some shabby bridge? Paid? I'm leaving. But dealing with the military is a great challenge because they have very thick skins and camouflage. Oops, we got carried away a little. Fox is also in trouble, so we save his ass and he gives us some info on S.T.A.L.K.E.R. He tells that he doesn't really know S.T.A.L.K.E.R, but S.T.A.L.K.E.R squad once opened fire at Fox's people. So they exchanged some fire, but it turned out that S.T.A.L.K.E.R squad opened fire by mistake, so they were expecting someone else. In the end, no one got hurt. They cussed each other out and parted ways peacefully. He mentions that his friend S.T.A.L.K.E.R might know more about S.T.A.L.K.E.R. By the way, these guys' names seem to have caused some minor confusion in the English version of the game. His name was translated as Grey at first, but then the devs decided just to transcribe it. This is because S.T.A.L.K.E.R means two things in Russian. The first meaning is the grey color, and the second meaning is nothing in particular. This is just a nickname Russians tend to give to a buddy whose name is Sergei. Why did we tell you this? Who the hell knows? We'll see him only once in the game. He's not even important, so this guy is somewhere in the garbage. What's the garbage, you ask? That's the second location we're going to visit. We're not sure if it's an appropriate translation. The place is called Svalka in Russian, which means a junkyard or a landfill. In this case, it's a graveyard where various vehicles and metal parts were taken to get rid of because they were radioactive. Anyway, we go there and witness a scene. Some guy is surrounded by people pointing guns at him. He cries for help. You can talk to them, but we know that these guys surrounding him are bandits. So we decide to play an unexpected trick on them. We toss a grenade at the guy who was asking for help, because he's conveniently right in the middle of the crowd. Unfortunately, it doesn't go as planned. Only the victim gets hurt by the grenade. But we deal with him. He didn't really like our rescue tactics, so he also got hostile to us, but then he remembered that he's a Christian stalker and that forgiveness is a virtue. So he puts aside the fact that we literally threw a grenade at him and becomes our friend. Then we get a radio call from a guy called Bes, which means imp in Russian. He's about to have a firefight with the bandits and needs more firepower. We help him in his fight for literal scraps, get generous reward of 2000 rubles, and we venture forth, find some artifacts that are just vibing on the ground. Find S.T.A.L.K.E.R, he's also having a firefight with bandits, so we help him fight them off, admire the cringy ragdoll physics, and he gives us, believe it or not, 2500 rubles for committing mass murder, and tells us that one urban caver he knows has located off one of S.T.A.L.K.E.R's stashes. His name is Krot, which means a mole in Russian. He's gonna be waiting for S.T.A.L.K.E.R near the Agroprom Research Institute. So that's where we head next. When we enter, we're met by a stalker who says that Mole Squad is attacked by the military and we gotta help him. I wonder how much cash we'll make, maybe even as much as 40 bucks this time. Who knows? We try to help them and only 2 or 3 guys survive of around 20 or so. I'd say we have a knack for rescuing people. Anyway, Mo leads us to a sewer entrance and tells us that S.T.A.L.K.E.R's hideout is there, in secret tunnels under the research institute, and gives us no money this time. Should have left this cheapskate die. Fucking hell. So down we go in the gutter. This place has a really eerie vibe to it. A lot of paranormal and mystical things happen here. Inside we meet the military bandits. I guess they also like shoveling shit underground for no apparent reason. We also meet our first serious mutant here, a bloodsucker. This fight was astonishing. Shows you how dangerous the zone is.
Skip it up and that up.
Finally, we find S.T.A.L.K.E.'s man cave. Inside we steal a bunch of goodies and a USB drive. S.T.A.L.K.E squad used it as a means of communication, so we plugged it in our PDA and see some messages from a S.T.A.L.K.E squad mate. He broke the news that another one of his squad mates, Quick, or Fang in English, had died and that S.T.A.L.K.E shouldn't have gone to the center of the zone all by himself. Then the guy said that he knows where or precisely at whose place S.T.A.L.K.E is staying right now, so they should meet up. On the way back we see another serious mutant, the controller. Lore-wise, it's a really dangerous foe. He can manipulate minds of humans and animals, so he can make a guy commit suicide or think that his friends ate all his kolbasa while he wasn't looking. But in game he just shows you his hand and for some reason it hurts you. But don't worry, modders will fix it in the next games. When we get outside, Sidorovich asks us to steal some military documents from the old institute building. We're not sure if we're supposed to be sneaky here. On the one hand, this place is packed up with the military, and a straightforward approach leads to an extremely long and tedious shootout. And on the other hand, if we are supposed to be sneaky here, then the stealth in this game is broken so much that it's safer to assume it doesn't even exist anymore.
Ну типа десант. Ох, ебать они тут заспавнили, блять.
So some green amnesiac stalker ends up eliminating probably the whole battalion of Ukrainian soldiers. That's a real shame. Many of them probably enlisted to pay their loans for a new computer that should run Stalker 2 when it comes out. Sometimes they even scream "Mother" before they die. Damn, this game made killing morally ambiguous way before The Last of Us 2 claimed it as one of their cool features. But never mind the rant. We snatch these documents and flee the scene. Enough war crimes for today. So traders want these documents because they have something to do with discovering a path to the center. As of now, no one can reach it because at some point on the way here, stalkers just reach a place that makes their brains just fry, turning them into mindless zombies. They believe that this effect is man-made, so they are looking for papers that would provide some insight into what this shit is and how to get past. We take a look at the documents and find out that the military were also looking for information there. We find a military report and some pieces of correspondence between a scientist from Agroprom and some other researcher. Here's what the military found out. The official specialization of the Agroprom Research Institute were experiments aimed to try and grow crops on radiated soils. But as it turned out, they've never done it, and all the reports of their achievements are fabricated. What they've been doing here the whole time is not known, but from the correspondence we can find out that they were doing some private research here and then send the materials into some other laboratory with the codename X-18. Shady stuff. Now we're to take these papers to another trader, whose name is Barman. No Russian words this time. He's hanging out at the duties turf. That's another faction in this game. We'll talk about them a bit later. So now we have to get back to the junkyard and go past the duties checkpoint. When we arrive, they get attacked by wild, mutated Ukrainians.
Героям слава!
They let us through for helping them fight off a mutant wave. So to the bar we go. Apparently, duty doesn't give a shit about security and visitors because we get jumped by a pack of mutant dogs as soon as we enter the premises of their base. And the guards don't seem to give a shit unless we lure the dogs to the checkpoint. Thanks for a warm fucking welcome, guys. Really appreciate it. Really shows you how severe the zone is. Anyway, let's talk about factions a bit. There are many factions in the game, but let's focus on those that we've met already. First of all, we can divide Stalker factions into two groups, illegal groups and legal ones. The only legal group we've encountered yet is the military. These are Ukrainian army soldiers that are assigned to maintain security at the border of the zone by Ukraine's Ministry of Internal Affairs. So yes, the marked one is actually a criminal now. Now let's pass to illegal ones. The first is loners, or одиночки in Russian. That's hardly a faction, to be honest. These are just stalkers who got into the zone for their own reasons. They don't really have an ideology and just tend to stick together in the zone because it's safer this way. The second one is bandits. They don't have an ideology as well, except maybe the prison etiquette. These are people who got into the zone to commit crimes, make money or hide from the law. Most of them have done time in jail at least once in their lives, so they behave and speak like convicts and ex-convicts do in countries of the ex-Soviet Union. They are the source of memes like "Чики-брики!" If you don't know already, this phrase seems to be a reference to a Russian TV series called "The Meeting Place Cannot Be Changed" and can be roughly translated as hippity-hoppity and eats in the back, and means that you're about to deal with something quickly. In case you wondered, nobody says this in Russia, except for stalker memes maybe, but we have some similar phrases which we won't tell you cause it's not Russian 101 and you're not supposed to learn anything useful while watching shitposts on YouTube. Oops. back to the factions. There are also the traders, they are neutral to everybody. These are just some fellow Israeli merchants who prefer to stay neutral and just do the business, precisely smuggling weapons, artifacts and information in and out of the zone. So they unofficially formed something of a guild, so that they can share information and shit. Sidorovich is one of them, and soon we're going to meet the barman. The barman operates on the turf of another illegal group, Duty, or Dolk in Russian.
Deadly anomalies, dangerous mutants, anarchists, and bandits. None of them will stop Duty on its triumphant march towards...
They are a group of militant stalkers who believe that the zone is the plague of humanity and it should be annihilated without a trace, despite the fact that some discoveries of the zone might boost technological progress of the outside world. We'll leave you to digest this bunch of useless information, so this is it for the first episode. Let's see if we manage to complete the series faster than Stalker 2 gets out, or at least manage to do it all. Anyway, have a good one.